I will ask, did you see my mistake last episode? I'm going to let it ride for a little bit and let you think now that you know that I made one. Hey, I'm Kelly Jack, and this is How Not to Game, and we're going to explore how not to do things when we take a look here in a minute. And this is, in case you can't tell by how pretty it looks, our Pak128 First Honest Try Simutrans sessions. Simutrans has several packs, graphic packs, and they're pretty much calling it out. There's 64-bit, the old 64-bit looking graphics, and the 128 looking graphics. There's also 192, but it's only available in the comic game, not any of the standard gamings. Watching our trains rolling along the tracks, seeing how things are doing. And I can probably start getting some of those trains back out and doing some more of those replacements. Now, part of the reason I was replacing trains was their capacities. We're on to heavier carts, and we're going to see if just the heavier carts or if I need to upgrade to a faster train. The Chippy is an obsolete vehicle, and everything behind it is obsolete. When I looked at it, the Nabe is also obsolete, I believe. Nope. There's the 51 series that out now that we could use. Instead of the C11s. And the C11s are still available. So we can get an upgrade in speed from the Chippy, and that's what we were doing. So we're going to go ahead and do the thing where we're going to sell this guy and build a new line ready to go. With these new, heavier carts. And I can't remember, do I get? No, can't quite. Not on the sizing we got. That's all right. Get some money back because we are poor. We are very deep in the hole. And financials, not as bad as it could be. 9,000 was all we were in the hole last year. It's mostly been the construction. We did go way overboard when we look at our construction costs. Spent $129,000 in a year. Had some time when trains weren't moving. Did expansions into areas that are not making money as much as we had hoped. And that is something I'm going to have to start doing, is upgrading rails and speeding things up in general. One of these days I'm going to take a game where I'm going to say this is a game where we're going to apply everything I've learned that I have to do, and I'll sit down and make the rules that what I have to do that game, with that each specific company or just one company, and see what we can do to improve my gameplay. For those tracking caffeination is extremely low. Cup number 2, pop number 1. But we do seem to be doing good, and checking our electricity grid we must have a break in the power lines because we're not transferring power. Good to there. Good to there. Good to about there. Good across there. No. That's why. Hey. We didn't line up the transformer right. Now that's a dumb move, isn't it? And hopefully that will solve our issue. Turning off station coverage there for a minute so that I can see my lineups a little bit better. Yep, there we go. Now we should begin doing it. And because it goes by a couple other places, even though they're not yet connected up, which is why they're not generating power, it's time. And it's time to take a look at our lines. And none of them bus lines look right, but there's one that I'm worried about. Let's talk about my mistake. I realized it as soon as I ended the video. It's in the routing. Do you see my mistake yet? Keep looking. But I'm going to tell you, it's a doozy. I have it coming from here all the way to here and not stopping here. When you're trying to build a city, you want to have it stop and move things between each stop as well as the long stops. Don't express them. One, you're cutting down your chances of getting any growth. So let's do that right now and do a fix to hopefully save this line. So how do I do that? Well, drop station doesn't need to be listed twice. And Square Creek's in the wrong spot. So we need to first insert a stop all the way out here for the square. And then we add a stop here on the way back. Now, hopefully, that with that change to the routing, will improve our service in town and help the city grow and eventually get moving. Now, because this guy is not functioning with passengers because of the goof up and it's a smaller town, I'm coming to his schedule and saying, go ahead and go to the slew. Let's see if moving passengers from the other end, where it's a bigger city, see if they want to come over here. Also, people need a way to get to work. And if they have a way to get to work, it grows a town. So what are we going to do? I think we'll put in a bus. And I'm going to be eating a lot of static for this route. But at the same time, I think this routing will work. At some point, I'm going to have to take and do a build up in this stretch because this is just too long of a stretch. It's becoming obvious to not have another siding in. And I'm going to take out my row sign because it's pretty obvious when I post what it is that industry just says, yeah, we dig where we want. Now, the priciest siding I can come up with is to put a bridge siding in. Part of the goal of single lining is to save yourself some money on things like bridges and such, and single line to the tunnels and bridges so that you're not paying those higher maintenance costs until you have to double line. And while our flow is a bit ragged, our financials are crazy because of our expansion out on the other end over here, where it's just not going to make us the money we hoped. And part of that is just like at Falkirk and Sloop, we never really did feeder lines into our station for the passenger service. And without those, this isn't going to take off on this train very fast. So let's do a little work, go a little deeper in debt, and see what we can do. So first things, let's see where we need bus stops at. Always need one at your rail station. And let's turn on our coverage so we can see what we're doing. I hope you can see the difference on this one. I'm trying not to put them both onto the same color. Let's try a color change though. I'm not certain that would work. That one's close, maybe for some folks. Definitely not going to work. I'm having trouble. That one is impossible for me. I'm hoping that highlights it enough that you can see it. And we're going to go in and see what we can do. Color shading choice by your company is an interesting choice for that. I've often wondered. Why they chose that and if there was something they had in mind. So I'm going to kind of put one right down this drag, 2 stations. I'm going to do one in front of Town Hall. And get one over here and one here. That gives us some pretty good coverage in the town. We're still missing the seafront properties there, but we'll deal with that later. Go ahead and dispatch our vehicle. And here, again, I'm going to go with 2 of the twin coaches. Chesterfield's one of the bigger cities, so I think we'll get some business. And we'll get some business fairly fast. Give us a bus name here of IBCT. I do tend to abbreviate town names, sorry, by accident and habit. Chesterfield. Guards Station bus from Guards Way. And then we're going to run a bus that's going to kind of do this. A loop bus. Chesterfield. And we will core loop it. And that got us away with 2 buses, and let's see what that gets us. Watching both. Oops. The wrong one to take a launch. There we go. Let's watch our finances a little bit closer on the monthly. And look at that. Between having gotten that extra couple of trains out and such, it looks like we're starting to pull back to the black. The problem is net wealth. Uh-oh, I better check something fast. Hadn't I? Free play is on. That's right. We had to turn it on for Calico. Because he's 10 mil in the hole now. We're still going to be losing money. But only half as much. So that turned around things by fixing some bus routes and dispatching them. I imagine another issue is at the other end. Shall we take a look there next episode? I would imagine that would be a good idea, Dave. Yeah, I think Cardiff's going to need buses with that kind of station coverage, only covering just this little area. Oh, yeah. So, I'm Kelly Jack. This has been How Not to Game. And episode 43 in the bag. Have a better day than I'm having.